Hi guys, it's Foxy coming to you. May's pretty much almost over. About to get into June, which means it's summertime, sundress season. All right, so it's time for me to get in my nerdy feelings about something, and that something is on Cersei Lannister. Now, I've been thinking about this topic for a while now, but I had to watch the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones to really bring this point home, and it was only after watching those last 2 episodes is that only after watching those last 2 episodes it was, the picture just became so much clearer. And that picture is Cersei Lannister is like the ultimate patriarchal princess. So what do I mean by that? From the moment I started watching the show, I don't read the books, I just watch the show on HBO, I could just taste the resentment of living in a world where gender roles and expectations are obligatory that Cersei has. She fucking hates it. She hates it so much, but she doesn't, do anything to really, counteract it. And I suppose, back then, what woman really could, but she just fully, resigns herself to it. She resents her father, Tywin, for putting, gendered expectations on her from childhood and not giving her the same leeway and power as her twin brother lover, Jaime. And she especially resents Tywin for, marrying her off like chattel to Robert Baratheon, right? But, at the same time, she admires Tywin. And she fashions herself like her dad in regards to politics, which, she's not. Cersei is nowhere as smart or patient or, capable as, her father is. Cersei also doesn't have a problem perpetuating patriarchal shit when it comes down to her getting whatever she wants. And, you see it in season 3, right? When Cersei and Lady Olenna were talking in the Sept, right? They were having a conversation about their sons and everything like that. And anytime Lady Olenna expressed her dislike of Westerosi social culture, the patriarchal culture and shit like that, Cersei's just like, oh, well, that's just the way shit is. Olenna was like, oh, we do so much for our sons, and yet they try to, we do so much to try to protect our sons as mothers, but yet they just seem like they want to just go into the grave. And Cersei's like, and yet the world belongs to them. And Lady Olenna is like, that's a stupid arrangement. And she's like, oh, but the gods seem to have, made it so. And it's just like, bitch, like Jesus. She, and it's just like the typical patriarchal princess. Cersei just seems to have this deep contempt and dislike for other women. And you see that in that conversation with Lady Olenna as well. She feels like she always has to one-up her in a reply. And, she's always in competition with, other women and shit. And it's like, why? She definitely feels that way towards Lady Olenna and definitely towards Margaery. Basically because, Margaery is everything, Cersei isn't. Margaery is smarter, she's kind, she's very astute when it comes to politics and shit. And, people love her. People, the common folk, really like her. Their method of acquiring people to their side is hella different. Cersei uses fear, Margaery uses kindness and love. It's basically the whole, attracting more flies with honey thing. But let's get into Cersei's most recent transgressions, okay? So, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched last Sunday's episode, stop watching this video and go catch up, and come back when you're caught up. All right, so spoiler alert is done. About to get into the shit. Okay, now. So, as we've seen this season, Cersei's made herself comfy with the High Sparrow and thought that she could use another patriarchal institution to get rid of people she doesn't like. So she gets rid of the prior High Sept, and she puts the High Sparrow, she has the High Sparrow, the new Sept, and reestablishes the Faith Militant with the Sparrows in charge and shit. Basically, she uses them to get out of marrying Loras Tyrell because he's gay. And basically in her overall plot to get rid of all the Tyrells in King's Landing. So Loras and his sister Margaery end up being arrested by the Faith Militant and thrown into the Black Cells, all to Cersei's delight. But then, like all of Cersei's plans, empowering the Sparrows comes back to bite her in the ass. Because after speaking with the High Sparrow and discovering that her cousin Lancel pretty much told the High Sparrow everything about her, Cersei herself is arrested and then thrown into a Black Cell. Yes! See what happens when you perpetuate patriarchy, Cersei? It always comes back to bite you in the ass. Plus, again, Cersei likes to think of herself as her father with boobs and shit, but she's not really that smart. Even her own father told her so. Even Tywin was like, bitch, I don't distrust you because you're a woman. I distrust you because you're not as smart as you think you are. And he's fucking right. It's true. Every fucking time Cersei gets a little bit more power, she just shows what a fuck up she is. Remember back in season 2 when she was, talking to Sansa during the siege of Blackwater Bay? She told Sansa that, like, oh, I should have been born a man. And I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, bitch, that really wouldn't have changed much because you'd still be a fuck up. She doesn't know how to run a kingdom. The common folk hate her. She can't stand to hear the truth. She doesn't know how to, plan shit out for the long haul. She doesn't do what I call playing, the long away games. Like her dad, Tywin, her, basically everything she's done from season 2 until now. That's basically like exhibits fucking A through Z that Cersei doesn't know how to handle shit. Anyway, that's my little nerdy rant on Cersei Lannister. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Peace.